The following video is intended for mature audiences. It contains horror elements, adult themes, and language that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Welcome back to another disturbing journey in the southern underworld. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this devilish delight with your horror friends and fam. Engagement is essential, and it helps our little channel grow. In horror literature and film, Pennywise the dancing clown is an extraordinarily unsettling, omnipresent, and multifaceted antagonist. This character first appeared in Stephen King's 1986 novel It, and has since been immortalized in the 1990 miniseries and the 2017 and 2019 film adaptations. However, Pennywise is more than a singular entity of fear. He embodies a force that transcends time, shape, and even terror itself. He's not just a clown, but an ancient cosmic being that feeds on humanity's darkest aspects, primarily fear. Pennywise's distinct allure in horror stems from his ability to manipulate deep-seated childhood fears and traumas, exploiting innocence and vulnerability in ways that directly impact human fragility. His ability to morph into whatever his victims fear heightens not only the terror, but also the psychological damage such fear inflicts. In this video, I'll dissect Pennywise's psychology, delve into the societal commentary inherent in his character, explore his form's symbolism and actions, and examine what makes him one of horror's most terrifying yet enduring villains. A key characteristic of Pennywise is his relationship with fear. For him, fear isn't just useful, it fuels him. Often referred to as It, Pennywise is a cosmic entity whose true form defies human comprehension. His clown disguise, along with various monstrous forms, are mere masks for his actual self, a manifestation of pure existential dread. He thrives on fear, particularly children's, which he claims seasons their flesh. This predatory hunger for terror reflects many real-world predators who feed not only on physical bodies, but also on their victims' emotional trauma and mental distress. From a psychological standpoint, Pennywise resembles a predator that uses psychological warfare as its main tactic. He meticulously selects his victims based on their deepest insecurities and traumas. What makes Pennywise particularly terrifying is his ability to infiltrate the deepest recesses of a person's mind, exposing their most primal fears and using those against them. Whether it's young Eddie Casbrack's fear of disease or Beverly Marsh's terror due to her abusive father, Pennywise doesn't just attack his victims, he systematically breaks them down by turning their own minds against them. The psychology behind Pennywise's strategy highlights broader commentary about fear as a universal human experience. In many ways, Pennywise acts as a mirror to the human condition, reflecting our vulnerabilities and anxieties. He doesn't create fear, he amplifies what already exists, using his victims' internal struggles as fuel for his evil plans. Pennywise's preference for children as his main victims intensifies the psychological horror he represents. Children are naturally more vulnerable both physically and emotionally, with an active imagination that Pennywise exploits to horrifying effect. The idea that something as innocent as a child's imagination can be weaponized against them is deeply unsettling, one that hits at the core of what makes Pennywise so terrifying. He corrupts innocence and turns childhood wonder into something grotesque and dangerous, shattering the trust children place in the safety of their world. Understanding the character of Pennywise requires delving into Stephen King's vast universe. Pennywise isn't your typical villain shaped by human experiences or traumas. Instead, he's a cosmic entity that has existed for millions of years. According to King's mythology, Pennywise originates from the macroverse, a realm beyond our physical reality. He came to Earth in prehistoric times and chose Derry, Maine as his hunting ground. Pennywise's true form is beyond human comprehension and is described in the novel as deadlights, an undefined, terrifying energy that can drive anyone who looks at it insane. The clown image, along with other disguises Pennywise uses, are simply projections designed to reflect his victims' worst fears. He exists in Derry in a cyclical pattern. He wakes every 27 years to prey on the town's children before returning to hibernation. This recurring pattern gives Pennywise a sense of inevitability. He is not just another villain but an unending force of evil that can never be fully defeated. This cosmic backstory sets Pennywise apart from other horror villains. Many villains stem from human or supernatural origins tied to earthly motivations like revenge or hatred. However, Pennywise's roots are ancient and incomprehensible. His motives aren't about power or dominance in the traditional sense. Instead, they're basic and instinctual, driven by survival and feeding. The aspect of cosmic horror adds an existential dread to his character. He represents a terror that goes beyond physical or psychological limits into metaphysical realms, tapping into fears of the unknown and insignificance of human life in the grand cosmic scheme. At the heart of Pennywise's terror is his clown form. Clowns usually symbolize joy and childhood innocence, but under Pennywise's influence, they become something horrifying. This reversal plays on a deep-seated cultural fear of clowns known as coulrophobia. Clowns have always occupied a strange place in popular culture, balancing between comedy and horror. Their exaggerated features and flamboyant costumes often induce unease by hiding the person underneath. Pennywise takes advantage of this uncanny nature by using his clown persona to lure children before revealing his true monstrous form. The choice of clown disguise is significant. It symbolizes deeper fears. Clowns are often linked with circuses, places filled with spectacle and chaos. In contrast, Pennywise turns the circus into a terrifying realm where nothing is as it seems, and even joy becomes something sinister. His ability to change forms reflects fear's unpredictability, which can take various shapes and strike from any direction. Aside from his clown disguise, Pennywise's other forms, like a decaying leper or a massive spider, reflect basic human fears. The leper represents decay and disease, playing on Eddie Kaspbrak's germophobia. The spider form taps into our fear of grotesqueness and the unknown. Spiders, with their alien-like appearance, have long been symbols of the dark side. Pennywise's ability to change forms highlights the ever-changing nature of fear. It is not a fixed emotion, but rather a fluid one that shifts depending on the person and their situation. As a representation of fear, Pennywise signifies this constant flux, always adapting to exploit the weaknesses of his victims. The sinister presence of Pennywise is inextricably connected to the small town of Derry, Maine. Rather than just being a setting, the town itself plays an active role, reflecting Pennywise's evil influence. Evil resides beneath Derry's calm facade, and its citizens have unknowingly become part of this unfolding horror. One particularly unsettling trait of Pennywise is his ability to make Derry's adults dismiss the frequent disappearances and deaths of children. This widespread apathy isn't accidental, but a deliberate outcome of Pennywise's manipulation. He has infected Derry, ensuring that its residents remain oblivious to the horrors happening around them. This situation provides sharp social commentary on how societies can become desensitized to violence and suffering, choosing ignorance over confrontation when dealing with internal evils. In many ways, Derry represents broader societal problems like indifference, complicity, and failure to protect the most vulnerable. The survival of Pennywise in Derry reflects the moral decay within this seemingly peaceful town. The adults' denial of the horrors occurring right under their noses allows Pennywise to continue his reign of terror without resistance. This theme of societal failure is further examined through the Losers Club, a group of kids who eventually confront and defeat Pennywise, representing unity, friendship, and courage in the face of immense evil. These children see past Pennywise's deception, while their adult counterparts remain unaware. This contrast highlights that children, with their innocence and honesty, are often more discerning about truths adults consciously overlook. What sets Pennywise apart from other horror movie villains is the way he seamlessly blends cosmic horror with psychological horror. As an entity from another universe, his true nature is beyond human understanding, adding a sense of cosmic dread to his character. but he also preys on his victims' deepest fears and traumas, marking him as a master of psychological horror as well. This dual aspect places Pennywise in a unique position within horror cinema. He poses not only a physical threat, but also an existential one, embodying fear of the unknown, fear of our own minds, and fear of powerful forces beyond human understanding. Pennywise's ability to shapeshift and manipulate fear makes him an unpredictable foe. Unrestricted by any single form or attack method, he continually reinvents himself, ensuring his relevance in a constantly changing genre. This versatility, along with his cosmic origins and psychological depth, distinguishes Pennywise from common slasher or monster cliches, immersing audiences in a primal and frightening experience. Pennywise embodies the very nature of fear. His capacity to tap into his victims' deepest fears, combined with his alien origins and shape-shifting abilities, establishes him as one of the most terrifying villains in horror cinema. He goes beyond simple labels like clown or monster. He is an elemental force that feeds on vulnerability and fear at the heart of human existence. Through Pennywise's character, it explores themes of terror, trauma, and societal failures that allow evil to thrive. His reign isn't just supernatural, it reflects humanity's inherent darkness and shows how fear can corrode, destroy, and ultimately consume us. Pennywise's story isn't just about terror, it serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of uncontrolled fear, while emphasizing the power of unity against immense evil. As long as there is fear in this world, Pennywise will continue to haunt our nightmares, a harsh reality that the most frightening creatures are often ones we have created on our own. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching.